Welcome to the channel all about economic board games. Today I'm going to be giving you an overview of this game called Futuropia. It's brought to you by Friedman Freeze, the famous designer who gave us Power Grid, and this is a similar looking box. It's got that typical green feel and it starts with an F, and this one's brought to you by Stronghold Games. And don't be fooled by the artwork, it actually only came out a few years ago. Now it plays 1 to 4 players, so there's that solo option as well. You're probably looking at about 90 minutes plus for this game, and it's a medium complexity one. So what are we doing? We are trying to relinquish our workers set in the future and give them the lifestyle of luxury by concentrating on all their hobbies, and they don't have to go to work anymore, because we want to power these generators by robots, which you can see is a stash of them beauties at the top. And as we do so, the meeples we have, we're going to get more of these, and they're going to live in more living quarters which we can get hold of at the top, and you're going to be getting more generators to provide power and more food, so your little living area can be self-sufficient at the end of the game. And then you're going to get points based on a whole area of things, and mainly the main majority of points is coming from having these workers who are able to sit at the top in a lap of luxury whilst your robots are doing all the hard work. Now, how does the actual game play then? So you start off with one of these sort of little living quarter areas. You can see it's going to have 1 energy to sort of run this, cost 0, but you get it for free. And we're on the A side, and there's loads of variety in this game. You've got B side, which gives you different types of rooms and extra stuff to think about. You start the game with 2 food generators, and it's going to pay out 1 food and 2 food if they are manned. If you've never got a robot or a man on there, or a person should I say, then it's switched off essentially. And the green one's all about food, and the blue one is all about energy. And you're going to have to feed these workers 1 food each, depending on when you do these actions. You also start with some money, and this is your energy, and this is your food tokens. And just looking at the big stash of these over here, you got some loans as well, and you got paper money. Now on your turn, you're going to be doing one of these 5 actions, and let's just go through them. So you decide to do this one. You're going to be able to get 1 to 5 workers, your choice, for free. Now you have to have space for them. So at the moment you can see we've got 3 workers and 3 spots in our living quarters, so we would have to go and buy, which isn't an actual action, you can just do it at any point, any of these extra living quarters. So you can see this one at the top is going to cost you 0, but it's going to be an energy and lose you a victory point at the end of the game. Looks like some kind of cinema. You can a host of these, and I put them in order so they go up in price, and the whole sort of range. You've got things for your garden that give you points but cost energy. You got this sort of gymnasium, sort of gives you all these spots here to put extra workers in. And basically that's important because the game end is going to be triggered by the person who has more than 25 workers, or they've got through one of these stacks of generators that comes to the last one. So where were we? So that was this action. So you take your workers, you don't pay for them, and then you have to do the bottom one, which is in this case a minus. You can see minus and pluses. Minus means you're going to have to feed them. So for every work you've actually got, you're going to have to make sure you got food, and if you haven't, you're going to be paying $2 per one you can't do. So and also you just, as I mentioned already, you need space for all these workers, but you can't go mental on all these different living quarters because you can only have a maximum of 5 empty spots. If you have anything more, you're a bit greedy and you can't do it. So that's this spot. Once you've done it, you just sort of turn it over to show you've done one of those 5, and you keep going. So this one is you can buy a generator from 0 to 1. You don't have to, which is why the 0's there, and then you will get food, so you'll activate those generators. So looking at where you can get those green generators in this case, this is the market. You can buy this one for cheap, and this one's classed as the more expensive one. Those are going to come into play. This is all that's out at the moment in a 2-player game. So you can see the cost is 4. It provides you with 4 food when it's got a person. Has to be a person there, not a machine. And the white spot means you can have a person or a machine. Or robot, should I say. So let's just say you did buy this one. The cost would be 4 minus 0. So as this goes up, which I'll explain in a minute, it could potentially get cheaper because some people might be attracted to the more expensive ones, which are more efficient. So when you buy these, you bolt them on essentially, and you can only operate that by filling these at the bottom, which is why you want more workers, which would have been this action. So it depends sort of which order you're going to do things. And then you get your food. So in this case, you haven't got enough people to activate that one. You get 1, 2, 3 free food. You add your food there, and that comes in handy if you ever needed to sort of pay food for that later on. So that's that action. This one is a subsidy, and this is how you get money injected into the game. Now at the top in the 2-player game, it starts on 12. You literally just take 12 money, and then you up it 1. So people on late future turns can get more money and more money and more money. You'll see on the other side that in a 3-4 player game, it's slightly different looking. So bear that in mind. That's subsidy. The next action is you can get robots. So between 1 and 3 robots, and they cost nothing. And you will then have to pay your energy. So you can see this is all about providing energy and food, and these are your costs. So you can see this living quarters is going to cost you 1, and for each robot you have, that is an extra 1 energy per one. So if you've got like 6 robots, that's 6 energy plus that, so you're going to need to power 7, and you pay it out of your energy here. And obviously if you've not got the generators to be providing you with the energy, because at the moment you're only providing 1 energy every time you use this next action, you're going to have to start thinking about getting these blue generators. Now when I took this more expensive one, once the pile is empty, you move over, well you decrease this to 0, which is kind of already on there. You'd move this next column, so it's like an escalator type thing, or conveyor belt should I say, and then you bring in the next bunch. So you've got the 6s, and you can see as this one depletes, say someone buys that, the 7s come into play, and you kind of keep going, and then you bring all the 8s out. So in a 2-player game there's not that much variety, but you'll find that you'll start having stacks of these in a 3-4 player game. So that's kind of how the generators will flow out. Now if someone, well we're on the blue generator at the moment, if someone does buy the more expensive one, so you've got the cheaper one which can be reduced in price. If you buy the more expensive one, so at 0 at the moment, so you'd pay 7, and this would give you 5 energy. So let's just say we take that, we pay 7 in this case. But as these go up, when you buy one, it goes up by 1, and then another one comes out, and let's just say another player buys this, it's going to cost them 8 plus 1, so 9, and then it'd go up another one. So number 9s would come, oh there's another number 8 there, so it'd come out. But if you wanted to buy this one, it's encouraging other people not to neglect this one, because now that's 6 minus 2 is 4. But then when someone does buy that and the stack runs out, it goes back to 0. So there's this really unique way that the prices fluctuate, and ensures that these, sometimes you might even get paid money for even taking it because it's got so high, and you can never really go beyond the 6. So that's kind of a bit about the generators, and there's a nice little sort of marketplace there. And that was this action. And finally, oh no, that was this one. You buy a generator for 0 to 1. You don't have to, and then you're going to activate, or test, should you say, test run all your energy. In this case, you'd only get 1 energy because you've only got that one there. And that's all the actions. And then basically at the start of your next turn, you are going to reveal all these at no cost. But if you did take a loan, which is quite handy, these ones I've shown over here, you would then have to pay interest on them, which is 1 resource. You can pay in money or food or one of your energy, and you then get the opportunity to pay that loan back. Now, interesting, let's just say you'd done these 2 actions and you got these 3 remaining, and you were like, oh, I really want to do these 2 actions. You can flip them back over, but it's going to cost you 1 resource per one you've got left over. So in this case, you have to pay 3 resources, a combination of money, food or energy, and then you can flip these back over and continue. Now every time you sort of turn them all over again, if you do have loans, you're going to have to pay the interest again, so you're kind of speeding up the interest, and 1 good per 5 is kind of like a 20% return. So in terms of player order, you do your go, then your next player will do their go, and you carry on like that, and next player goes, and you keep going like that. So that's how the turns work. Now in terms of this sort of player board here, you're going to end up getting more of these bolted on, you're going to be getting more workers to fill them, you're going to have more energy to pay, there's victory points on some of them, you're going to be getting more generators, and basically once, as I mentioned earlier, whoever gets 25 or more, or you have got through one of these piles, there's 2 piles, and you can see they all go up to 15. Once the 15's out and that's there, you trigger game end, and you're going to score stuff up, and this little handy index shows you that you need to be self-sufficient first. So you can't use any of this excess energy or food to support this unit. It has to have enough energy and food in your generators to support the number number of workers you've got and robots. You're then going to go through all these victory things. So you're going to get 5 points for every worker that's not needing to work and he's up here, and you've got a robot down here. You're going to get, if you produce any excess energy or food, you're going to get 1 point per excess. You're going to get points based on anything on your actual board, so 2 points there, and you count them all up. Minus 3 points for any of those loans, and then you're going to get, so interestingly, on the last turn, so let's just say this player triggered it. They triggered it with this one. This player turns over the other tiles, so they got 4. All of the players turn all of their tiles, and you basically get a final go to do these actions. And if you don't wish to do them, for every one you've not used, you're going to get 3 points basically, which is kind of nice. And then eventually, for each combination of 10 of your food, energy, and money, you're going to get 1 point. And that is pretty much it. So it's all about giving your workers the lifestyle of luxury as your robots work hard to provide the energy and food for them. I like the marketplace, how you're going to get a combination of these generators and you're waiting for the prices to go down to get a bargain, or you really need a generator that, you know, provides a lot more energy. So you can see here, this one, for example, you've got 6, whereas this is 4, but slightly cheaper. But this one needs a man on it. But at the end of the game, you kind of don't want those, because you want your men to be up here living the life. Whereas you can see this one, let's go right to the bottom to get your juice one. This one here, this provides, you can see the comparison. You're paying more for it, provides the same amount of energy, but as one, you can put a robot on there, whereas you need a robot on a man. And then you get all the way to 15, that provides 9, and you can have 2 robots on there. So it's trying to be as efficient as you can with your food and your energy. And that is it, folks. Futuropia. Enjoy.